One of the most frequently asked questions that I get as a rabbi at this time of year is, what is Shmini Atzeret? And that's a very good question, because the meaning of this holiday, the holiday we're ostensibly here to celebrate today, although today is also Shabbat, is not entirely clear. There's one verse about Shmini Atzeret in the Torah, one pasuk. Bayom hashmini mikra kodesh yalachem b'ikravtem mishel Adonai atzereti kol melechet avodah lo ta'asu. On the 8th day, following the 7 days of Sukkot, you shall observe a mikra kodesh, a sacred occasion. You shall bring offerings to the Lord, and it shall be a holy convocation for you, a day of atzeret, a day of cessation of work. That's it. That's all she wrote. That's really all we know about it. So the big question is, what is Shmini Atzeret? And the even bigger question that the rabbis debate is Shmini Atzeret the 8th day of Sukkot, or is it its own independent holiday? And the rabbis of the Talmud have a very extensive debate about that very question, rooted in the issue of whether or not you are obligated to sit in a sukkah on Shmini Atzeret. Some rabbis say, yes, of course you are, especially outside of the land of Israel, because outside of Israel, if the 8th day of Pesach is considered a Yom Tov, so too should the 8th day of Sukkot be considered like the last day of the holiday. And if it's the last day of the holiday, of course, you should sit in a sukkah. But other rabbis say, no, Shmini Atzeret is not part of Sukkot. It's its own independent holiday, and therefore you shouldn't sit in a sukkah on Shmini Atzeret, because really it's something entirely different. So, as rabbis do on rare occasion, they actually compromise. If you feel compelled to sit in your sukkah on Shmini Atzeret, you may do so, but if you do, you should not recite the bracha, the blessing for sitting in the sukkah, because ultimately Shmini Atzeret really is not part of Sukkot. And we know that to be true because we're not waving the lulav and etrog today. We wouldn't wave it today anyway because it's Shabbat, but if today were not Shabbat, we would not be waving a lulav and etrog. The liturgical insertions for Shmini Atzeret in the Amidah and in the Kiddush are different from what we recite on Sukkot, because today really is its own independent holiday. So, if that's the case, if Shmini Atzeret isn't Sukkot, then what is it? Why are we celebrating? Why are we in shul today? The best answer to that question, I think, is the one that Rashi, the great 11th century commentator, provides. Rashi says that the word atzeret is derived from the Hebrew word atzor, which means to stop. And as Mickey can tell you, if you've ever seen a stop sign in Israel, it contains the word atzor. Stop signs in Israel are actually called timrur atzor or shelat atzor. And the word atzor shares its root with the name of this holiday, Shmini Atzeret, which is kind of amazing, right? Every time you see a stop sign in Israel, you're reminded, or at least I'm reminded, of Shmini Atzeret, which is one of the beautiful things about having a Jewish state. As Rashi explains it, why is it rooted in this word atzor? Because God wants us to stop. God wants us to hold back from leaving the holiday season. God can't bear to let us go. We have been so close to God throughout the month of Tishrei and really going all the way back to the beginning of the month of Elul. But now we're at the end. We're getting ready to leave. We are concluding this intensive period of spiritual reflection and introspection and closeness to God. But God doesn't want it to end. God doesn't want us to go. Rashi teaches that Shmini Atzeret is like the case of a king who invites his children to a great banquet for a week in his palace, and the king and his children celebrate together, and they eat together, and they laugh together. But then the week ends, and it's time for the kids to go. And when the time to depart finally comes, the king says to his children, please, please, I beg you, I can't bear to let you go. Please stay with me just for one more day. That's what Shmini Atzeret really is. It's God asking for one more day to spend with us, to linger with us, to be with us. Shmini Atzeret is God's long goodbye. And as parents, we understand this. Just a few weeks ago, I was in our preschool greeting parents on the first day of school, And some parents were there dropping their kids off for the very first time, and you won't be surprised to learn that some of those first-time parents were crying just as much, if not more, than their kids were. Because for them, it was the first time that they ever had to say goodbye to their children. And that can be a very difficult and very painful experience. I'm sure some of you remember it well. And it's never easy at any stage, from cutting the umbilical cord, to putting our kids on the bus to camp for the first time, to setting up their dorm rooms in college, right up to the moment when they're standing beneath the chuppah. We never want to let our children go. Just as God never wants to let us go. We always want just one more day. And I think that's why we recite Yizkor on Shmini Atzeret. Because the holiday season is the time when those who are no longer here are with us most. Many people visit the graves of their loved ones prior to the beginning of the high holidays. On Rosh Hashanah, we use their silverware, their tablecloths, their Kiddush cups. We remember them at Yizkor on Yom Kippur. But really, they're with us at every stage of the holiday season. We remember where they used to sit in the sanctuary, and how we would be by their side for hours on end on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. We remember what it was like to eat in their sukkah, to wave the lulav with them, to parade around the synagogue with them on Simchat Torah. When I was growing up, I used to go to my grandparents' synagogue every year on Ne'ilah, the final service of Yom Kippur, and still to this day, every year on Ne'ilah, that's the time when I think about my grandparents the most. But now, the holiday season, the time of year when our memories of our loved ones resonate most strongly, is coming to a close. And just as God can't bear to say goodbye to us, so too do we struggle and resist and push back against saying goodbye to those loved ones who have been with us so strongly throughout this holiday season. We don't want to say goodbye. We want to linger with their memories. So we ask for just one more day to linger, one more day to remember, one more opportunity to say goodbye. Shmini Atzeret is not only God's long goodbye, it is our long goodbye. And we rise on page 516 for the Yizkor service.